Okay, so in the previous session, the previous part, we discussed about what marketing is. Okay, I believe you guys see my PowerPoint presentation slide here. Okay, and if you have problem with it, please do let me know because I don't have your view. Okay, now look, if you look at that, some people may consider marketing is advertising, selling, and so on and so forth. It's not. Okay, it's not about it. Okay, it is about creating value. All right, it is about creating value. Okay, now I have a definition I'd like to show you. Okay, now if you look at that, we have a definition here from the American Marketing Association. Guys, you may want to research these organizations, American Marketing Association. Okay. Marketing definition. Okay, if you type in the Google search box, American Marketing Association's marketing definition or EMA's marketing definition, you'll get the recent one. Look, this is not a recent. This is not the latest one. This is basically going back to 2003 definition, and in 2007 they revised that definition into a set of activities, right? Into activities. Sets of processes, okay, and institutions, okay. For what? For creating, okay. The rest is just the same, okay. Now, if you look at that, originally they mentioned that it was an organizational function, okay. Marketing was defined as organizational function and set of processes. Of course, in that function, for what? For creating, communicating, delivering value for customers, okay, to customers, all right? And that actually refers to marketing. That actually refers to marketing department, okay, marketing department. Okay, if you look at that, which organizational function that performs marketing function? Well, of course, marketing department, okay. However, in the recent definition, as discussed with you before, they changed that. They're not using this organizational function anymore. All right? They say it is activities, it's about activities, sets of processes, and institutions for creating, communicating, delivering value, offering that has value for customers in the exchange process. Okay? That has massive implication, right? From organizational function, okay, in other words, marketing department, to activities, okay. So what is the implication here? Well, the implication is, okay, we acknowledge that to create, communicate, and deliver value for customers, right, it takes more than just marketing department. Okay, it takes more than just marketing department, right? Think about it, right? So whatever you do in your organization, you are actually contributing to create value for the customers, to communicate value for the customers, to deliver value for the customers, right? Let's say if you do finance, for instance, right? You also contribute to the value creation for the customers through managing the asset of the organization, so you guys can deliver the best value, the superior value for customers, right? Because the assets the assets that you manage is productive for the organization, right? If you work in purchasing department or procurement department, for instance, you also contribute to the value creation for customers, right? You should be able to contribute to the organization's value creation by finding the best material for your customers. Okay, so in other words, again, as we discussed before, it is a set of activities, processes, institutions for creating, communicating, delivering offerings that has value for customers in the exchange process. Okay, so hopefully, guys, that this one is pretty clear in terms of marketing definition. Okay, any questions so far?
No.
Oh, good. All right. So again, I would recommend you to look at Emma's definition of marketing in your Google search box. All right. you should be able to get the latest one, okay? And you can offer your analysis like the one that we just discussed before, okay? Now, let's move on to the next one, okay? Which is basically about marketing process. As any other business function or organizational function, marketing also has process, okay? And in this slide, we also have in this presentation, we also have a process using the ART-PI model, right? We are going to discuss that briefly, okay? One of the things that I'd like to show you is a marketing process that refers to marketing definition that we just discussed before, okay? Remember, we have few keywords in here that includes create, communicate, and deliver, okay? So we can use them as part of the process, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is to understand in our marketing process, okay? What do we need to understand in here? Well, we need to understand the market, okay? We need to understand the customers. We need to understand the competitors, okay? We need to understand the other thing in the marketing environment, okay? We need to understand everything in marketing in the marketing environment, okay? The second thing that we need to do is to create. After we understand, okay? After we understand, we get some insights, okay? We get some insights. Insight about what? Insights about the customer's need, insight about our competitors, insight about major trends in the market, okay? And then after we get the insights, we create. What do we create in here? Well, we create the offering, okay? We create the offering, okay? We create the offering that suits to the customer's need, that helps us competing in the market, okay? And what is the next thing that we need to do? Well, the next thing that we need to do is to communicate it. After we create it, we need to communicate it. Otherwise, people will not be aware. The customers are not aware of what we create, okay? So we communicate it to the customers to stimulate trial, to increase the awareness of what we offer, okay? Now, we have communicated that, okay? When we communicate that, we will create certain expectation, right? Therefore, the next thing that we need to do is to deliver it, okay? Otherwise, we are not going to deliver what we have communicated to the customers, right? Otherwise, we kind of telling lies to the customers, okay? So we got to deliver it, okay? Now, after we deliver it, we will be learning something, right? Good, bad, right? Good lesson, bad lesson. Yeah, we deliver this one works, this one doesn't work, okay? People like this packaging, people like this, but people find our label, for instance, confusing, okay? And our campaign is not clearly understood, for instance, but the idea is great. Customers like the idea. Customers like this product idea, right? So that goes back to our understanding again, okay? That goes back to our understanding again. That goes back to the insights again, all right? So we can reveal the next opportunities for our business, yeah? Right, so that's the process in a nutshell, okay? Using the marketing definition as a starting point to understand the process in marketing, okay? You can use that model, understand, understand, create, communicate, deliver, and go back to understand, okay? The other thing I'd like to show you is, we have marketing process as well in here that shows you the ART-PI model. Where is the ART-PI model? There you go. Okay, so this is the marketing process as well. Okay, so it involves what we call as the ART-PI, which is similar to the one that we just discussed. Right, analyzing marketing opportunities. That's part of the understand. Okay, researching and selecting target market, part of the understand. Okay, designing marketing strategies, that is part of the creating. We create that. Yeah, we create the product, we design the price, and we design the placement strategies and also the promotion. Okay, planning marketing programs. Then we discuss about the communicating it, right? Implementing it. Implementing the marketing plan. We also here we talk about delivering it, okay, and then evaluating the marketing plan. That goes back to understand again, Okay, so similar to the previous approach. Okay, either one that you use, either use the ArcPy model or the understand, create, communicate, and deliver. Either one is fine. Okay, right, guys. Any questions about these two concepts?
No.
All good? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, okay. So the next thing I'd like to discuss with you is the marketing environment. Okay, now I need to bring the other slides. Hang on a second. Where is my other PowerPoint slides? Okay.
Just back to the assessment.
Yep.
Would you recommend doing assessment 1 and assessment 3 on the same product, or?
I like that question. All right, you can.
Okay.
You can. I'm offering that to you. Okay. The assessments do not limit us of not using the same product. You can. Okay, you can use the same product if you want to. Thanks for reminding me. Right, good on you, Mike. Good job. Right. I like that question because I put it in my note here, but yeah, for some reasons I was struggling to find my slide, so it was kind of losing from my head. Okay, so yes, you can use it. You can use the same one. Okay, and then you'll get feedback from me after you post your assessment one. You'll get feedback within 2 weeks based on the school standards, right? And you can use that feedback to enhance your analysis. Yeah. And again, in terms of marketing environments, your assessment one only requires you to look at one factor, and for your assessment 3, you need to look at comprehensively. Yeah. Okay. So yes, you can. To answer that question, yes, you can. Okay. Good question. Right. Right, guys. Now let's look at marketing environments. Okay. Marketing environments. Remember our discussion before about the company that we set up. Okay, if this is our firm, we have the customers, right? Look, guys, I may be telling lies to you, all right? Because in reality, marketing environment includes more than just the customer. Okay, marketing environment actually includes two large components, right? The first thing is what we call as micro environmental actors. Okay, and the second one is macro environmental forces. Okay, so now if you look at that, micro environmental actors include 6 actors: the company or the marketing organization, okay, public, okay, competitors, okay, suppliers, marketing intermediaries, okay, okay, and the last one is, which is critical, is the customers. Okay, so they are the marketing environment. They are the micro environmental actors that we need to consider in our analysis. Yeah. Okay. Now, the next one is macro environmental forces. Okay, there are several factors in here as well. Okay, we have what we call as the political, okay, economic, social. Some people say social culture, okay, and technological. Okay. Now look, out of these factors, if you look at that, there are 6 and 4 factors. All right, and some other texts suggest more than 4 factors under macro environmental forces, but they're just the same thing actually. Okay, for your assessment 2, either one is fine. Okay, if you want to analyze the company, if you for your focus, that is fine. Or if you want to analyze the customers, right? You explain it. You explain how the customers change. You explain how the company addresses the customer, the changes in the customers' needs, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's fine. Okay, or if you prefer to analyze the economic, go for it. Okay, for your assessment one, right? So that is in a nutshell. Okay, now let's have a look at them. Okay. Okay, so part of back to the art pie again. We need to analyze the market opportunities, and where can we find the market opportunities? It is from the environment. Okay, market environment. Right. So let's have a look at it. Okay, we have micro and macro. Okay, now the micro environment includes these guys, as we discussed before. Okay, the company consists of business functions, right? So essentially, when you analyze micro environment actors, make sure that you focus on how they create value, right? Or make sure that you show that how they will affect the value that your company is creating. Okay. Now, if you look at that, the suppliers, the company, for instance, okay, everyone works hand in hand to create the value. All right. So you need to look at the top management and the other business functions. They work hand in hand to create, communicate, and deliver value for customers. All right. And suppliers, another actor in micro environment. They help us with the materials, either packaging material, raw material, or labor force. Okay, some companies outsource their labor. Okay, and they help us supplying those materials so that we can keep our promise for the customers. Right, we can keep the we can deliver the value that we promise for the customers. Okay, and marketing intermediaries, the resellers, for instance. Okay, they are the middlemen. Okay. So they help us to communicate, to promote the product, to sell the product for the customers. Okay, and in some instances, our marketing intermediaries may also be working with our competitors. Okay, if you think about a fast-moving consumer goods, okay, like Nestle or Camel Arnott's and so on and so forth, they work with Woolies and Coles, for instance, and Woolies and Coles also work with competitors. Yeah, the same thing with the suppliers. Okay, and customers, they are the focal point in this value delivery system, in the marketing value delivery. Okay, why is that? Because the customers have needs. Okay, so you analyze the need of the customers, right, which is also reflected by their behavior in the market. Okay. Why they decide certain brand, not the other brand. Okay, therefore you should also look at the trend, right? The customer's trend, where they are heading to. Okay, and the next one is the competitors. Okay, the competitors here is another important element in the micro environmental actors. Guys, questions? Do we need to monitor our competitors or not?
Yes.
Yes, we do. The answer is yes, we do. Why is that? What's the reason we monitor our competitors?
So we can see.
Sorry? Sorry, I can't hear you. Sorry.
I said, so we can see how they're creating value for our customers and stuff like that.
I like your response, right? So we can see how they create value for the customers, right? So we can look at how they create value, how competitors create value, right, for customers, right? So after we know that, what's next, right? It doesn't stop there, right? After we know that, then that helps us to create superior value, right? Remember, the word out there is called competitive. Okay. Now I got a question some time ago from a student. Eddie, my product is new. I don't have competitors. Or I said, no, you need to look at it again, right? Unless you are the monopoly holder in that product, in that industry, like city water. okay, you have competitors. Think about the products that the customers are using. If your product doesn't exist, they are your competitors, right? You may be competing with a different product category, but it doesn't matter. The product categories that we define in marketing, in business, is just our definition. But customers' purchase goes beyond that definition, right? They just need to look at, okay, which one that meets my need better, right? So if they think product A from a different industry meets their need better, then this is your competitor. Okay, think about iPad. When they just launched iPad, when Apple just launched iPad, right? Arguably, they are the pioneer in the tablet computer category. Okay, so who are the competitors? Well, laptop. It could be desktop. It could also be netbook at a time. Okay, but now the category has been established. Tablet computer category has been established. Their competitive landscape has changed to a different one, right? To a tablet computer. So they will talk about different set of competitors in that industry, in that product category. All right. So you will have competitors. Very likely you have competitors unless you are the monopoly holder, such as the City Water. Okay. Right. So the purpose why we want to look at why we want to analyze competitors is because eventually we want to create superior value for the customers. Right. And what do we want to analyze about our competitors? Everything. Right. But in your analysis, please do not say everything. Okay. You specify it. Right. You look at the marketing mix variables such as product, price, place, promotion. Okay. You can look at their business model. You can look at their customers. Right. You can look at their aspects, okay, that is critical for you to look at, okay, in your analysis. The last one is public. Public actually is interesting. They are not our target market, but they have interest, okay? They have interest in what we do, therefore we need to monitor that, okay? Because if their voice is quite strong, that will affect the effectiveness of our value creation, right? You may recall that some product categories have been, have received a negative voice from public, okay, such as if you look at soft drink industry, for instance, okay, public has been shouting their concern. Hey, look, you guys are spreading sugar and diabetes to the world, okay, and that will affect the value creation in soft drink industry, right? And that explains why that industry, that category is declining in terms of consumption, okay? When it is declining, what does it mean? It is the evidence that it has affected the value that soft drink category has created for the customers, okay? Right, so that's basically the highlight, guys, in terms of micro environmental actors. Again, please go through, please select for assessment one, please select the one that only one. You may want to go through you may want to show an overview of all factors, micro and macro, and after that you focus on one that you want to analyze comprehensively, okay? Right. Now, the next thing I'd like to discuss with you briefly is these macro environmental forces. Okay. Now, macro environmental forces. Some people use these 6 forces: demographics, economic, natural, technologies, political, and cultural forces. Okay. Some other people say, well, they can be summarized into PEST or PESTEL or STEP or STEEP. They are the same thing. Okay, so either one that you use, I don't mind. Okay, now let's have a look at it briefly. Okay, when you analyze macro environmental forces, okay, your purpose is to show the impact, how they affect the business. Okay, the impact of what? The impact of changes. Okay, so you want to show demographic changes, for instance, the population density changes, or the aging population, for instance. All right, how they affect your industry, okay, and the impact. All right, someone is having dinner. I'm hungry now. Okay, and the impact can only be either positive or negative. Okay, oops. Okay, so if you look at the impact, wait a second. If you look at the impact, it can only be positive only or negative only. Okay, it can be both. If you say the impact is both positive and negative or neutral, there are two possibilities. Either you have not done enough research, or actually that element is not related. Okay, it is not related to your business. Okay, so you move on to their aspect. Okay, and in terms of dimension of impact, it could be costs. Okay, it may escalate the costs because of the because of changes in politics, for instance, because of changes in economic, for instance, or that affects your profitability. Either it is increasing or decreasing. Okay, or it could be increasing. It could affect the consumption that affects your revenue. Okay, so that's the type of impact that you want to look at eventually. All right, now let's have a look at them briefly. Okay. The demographic profile, demographic is actually the study of human populations in terms of size, density, location, age, sex, race, and occupation. Now, you can look at in the Australian market, you can look at some highlights of Australian demographic profile, such as aging population, okay, and we have more and more diverse population in Australia, okay, and with diverse population in Australia, from a marketing perspective, you need to think about making sure that your offering is also diverse, because with diverse background, customers' need would also be diverse, become diverse as well. Okay, if you look at some businesses like McDonald's, for instance, they're quite good in terms of customizing their offering. Okay, in Sydney, for instance, in certain area in Sydney, they offer halal food. Okay, in Bankstown, for instance, they offer halal food, which is because in Bankstown area we have a lot of Muslim population is quite high in Bankstown area. Okay, so they customize it to meet the customer's needs. Okay, so that's an example. Right, so this is the one that I'd like you to look at in terms of analyzing demographic environment in Australia. Okay, we have better educated and more white-collared population. Okay, what does it mean from a marketing perspective? You have more and more demanding customers. Okay, you have more and more demanding customers because they're well educated. Right, so you need to be more convincing in your messaging. All right, the other thing I'd like to highlight is the economic environment. Okay, so you can look at the some metrics, economic indicators such as the GDP, for instance, in unemployment rate or employment rate. Okay, inflation rate, interest rate, tax level, including the GST and so on and so forth. Government spending, government budgets. Okay, now look, guys. You may recall that 2-3 years ago, people in our politicians talk about GST, increasing GST from 10 to 15%. Okay, now it seems like it is that discussion has evaporated. They may have shelved that idea. Okay, and if that happened, increasing GST from 10 to 15%, what do you think will happen to consumption? Increase or decrease?
It would decrease.
Absolutely, it will decrease. GST is increasing. Okay, and I have here an example about the economic. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this one. I'll just show you another one. Hang on a second. Can you see my screen now? The internet trading economics.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if you look at that, right, trading economics is one of my favorite spot. By the way, guys, when you analyze past, please show your data like this one here. Okay. Now, if you look at that, if we draw a line, okay, this is unemployment rates. Okay, if we draw the line, we find that yep, it is looking good because it is trending down. All right, the level of unemployment is decreasing. Okay, yep, bit of hike in here, and then it comes back again here. Okay, But if you look at from a year before, it has a decreasing trend. Okay, so what does it mean, guys? If the unemployment rate is decreasing, what does it mean to consumption? Increase or decrease?
Increase.
Right? Why is that? Because it's simply because consumers have purchase power. Okay, they can protect the job. Okay, we have more. The unemployment rate is decreasing. Okay, has a decreasing trend. That means people have jobs. Right? If people have jobs, that means the purchase power. Remember, the economic factor affects the the spending power and purchase pattern. Okay, so if you guys can normally go to the pub once a week, then you can still do that kind of lifestyle, right? You can still go to the pub once a week, all right? Okay, because you can potentially also protect the job, all right. Okay, so that's an example in terms of using data to analyze our economic environment. Okay. Now, look, I have a few more minutes to go, and you can also look at the natural elements such as the natural resources. Okay, one of the things in here that you want to highlight is the shortage of natural resources, such as fossil fuel as part of the natural resources. It is unreplenishable, unfortunately. So you can imagine that if we can't replenish it, what does it mean to the cost of petrol? Okay, and if the petrol price is increasing, what does it mean to business? Okay, so that's natural resource environment. Okay, and technological. The key messages in here includes the digital technologies that helps us reaching the customers. Okay, and the other things in terms of technology is the new technology development to create new product and so on and so forth. Okay, right. Any questions, guys? Hello. Any questions? Hello. Any questions or not?
No,
No.
not for me.
No. Okay. Okay. Right. Look, if you don't have any questions, okay, I just want to highlight again about the assessment one, okay, which is look, this topic, module one topic, is related to your assessment one and also assessment three. Make sure that you are comfortable with it, right? We discussed assessment one, okay, so make sure that you are comfortable with the analysis, okay? Show the facts, show the data to substantiate your arguments, okay? All right, if you don't have any questions, look, I think, I'm not going to hold you any longer, and I'll see you in the next session, okay? Oh, hi, Chloe, how are you? Hello, Chloe? Chloe? Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, Chloe, do you have any questions about the assessment one and also this topic? All right. Well, look, guys, if you have any questions, right, send me an email because I'm pretty fast in replying. Yes, this is recorded, so you can play back the recording. Okay. And again, if you need a full-blown presentations, pre-recorded presentations, you can refer to the links that I gave you. Right. I don't intend in our online tutorial. I don't intend to discuss all slides, okay, because we don't have enough time. Okay, so you can look at the pre-recorded materials, okay, and look at the e-texts, okay, that you can download from the module, okay, and that helps you to address your learning needs. All right, okay, guys, I'll see you in the next couple of weeks, and if you have questions, don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate to email me. I believe I'm quite fast in answering your emails. All right, and I'll see you later. All right. Have a good night.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks.
Thanks for
Thanks.
joining. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. I'll just end the meeting, yeah, because I am Zoom has given me a couple minutes only to end the meeting. Okay. Send me an email, okay, if you need help.